Alex Hanser here, coming to you on September 9th in the year 2017. We are coming to you live from off the grid in southwest Colorado. And the stream buffers often when I'm coming to you from off the grid. And it's important to understand that the video is intact when it is later featured on YouTube after we go live. So if you're having buffering issues now, just catch the video when it's done. So this is what's taking place. We've seen predictions all day long. Would it hit the west side? Would it hit the east side of the state of Florida? We've seen it go from a category 5 to a category 4 to a category 5 to a category 4, back and forth. Most of all, we've seen the American refugee experience hitting the non-homeless population. And this is spreading multiple areas at once. Fires in the Northwest. I could see the smoke from not only the fires in the Northwest, but perhaps the fires in Montana, perhaps other fires over this part of Colorado. Literally a air warning advisory. We just saw the largest solar flare in a decade. What impact is this largest solar flare in a decade going to have on Colorado, specifically, Florida, the state of Florida? But on the topic of Colorado, perhaps this is going to be an issue later on. I am at 8,000 feet, which means I'm closer to the sun and the cosmic ray influx. That's another story. Yeah, the future is going to be interesting in this part of America as well. We are dealing with massive events at once. So it was also being hypothesized by another person on YouTube that this is a massive drill on the part of the controllers to create a panic. Get out. Get out. Literally ordering people, get out. Get out. And now people are wondering if it's really going to be as severe as what they warned. So people don't know yet until it happens. And then there's going to be the follow-up. And there's going to be videos that I upload tomorrow morning that I recorded today. So I'll go over a few points that were made in those videos. But see, there's a lot to learn from what is taking place. There is a lot to learn. And a lot of the lessons that'll be learned will be learned after the fact. And America hasn't really been put to the test yet for any part of America to remain flooded for any super extended period in time, for areas to be without food, without water, without power. It's not a prepared America. But see now, it was a really big PR push for FEMA. And I want to mention this governor in the state of Colorado, the state of Florida. Oh, geez. Too many Freudian slips. Late night, folks. Actually just heard a mountain lion. I was actually playing the sounds of Hurricane Irma. It sounded like spirits, something, earth spirits, howling in the wind. And I'm playing this video of these wind spirits, whatever. And they'll, literally, I kid you not, there's some sort of a mountain lion or wildcat. Oh boy. So I made my presence known and started stomping around. And instead of be afraid, I went outside and flipped on the generator, and I'm coming to you now. I see that a lot of people completely skipped over my recent slideshow presentation. I put like months of work into that. It's just amazing how people overlook relevant information as it's breaking. You're seeing the largest solar flare in a decade, and you're seeing the largest storms in certain areas in a long, long time. The last time Florida saw a storm like this, it was Hurricane Andrew. Now, what was going on in 1992? Come on. There's got to be at least a few of you that immediately know. We were going through a solar maximum. Yes, solar maximum. Early 1990s, late 1980s. Hurricane Andrew. Fast forward, right? to the year 2017. And then scientists, the sun is strange. We don't understand, for all our technology and all our satellites. And even books that have come out by people that have actually taken the time to study the sun. They've been talking about solar anomalies for a long, long time. They've been talking about, I've been talking about this reality we're going into, where the effects of the solar flares are stronger than in previous cycles because of what is going on with the Earth's magnetic field. Even if you think government technologies, be it HARP or something that is controlled by China or Russia, you do know there's periods in which they choose to flip on the technologies. So the sun could be providing that energy, a great deal of energy. And we really don't know exactly how the total solar eclipse from August 21st is playing into all of this, but we do know that it is somehow, some way. My friend Ashley in Portland, she was noting the path of the total solar eclipse where people were gathering. And some of those same areas, there's like a path of fire. A path of fire. There are people that don't even believe in God that are calling this biblical. Earthquakes, flooding, fire, natural disasters, but also the social disasters. And this has been coming to me like all day long, all week long. We've seen a social disaster come before these natural disasters. There are people praying right now for God to save America. Have they been praying for the victims of war? Have they been praying for their souls? Have they been praying? I'm just asking because we know what the answer is. The answer is no, they have not. So is it God's judgment? Is it weather wars from China? Is it global warming? Is it climate change caused by the sun, not global warming caused by CO2 emissions? Is it a mix of everything? Not so funny. But we're not really victims by being here on the earth. We're not. We're here for a reason in this petri dish. Whether you believe it's a round earth or a flat earth, we're in a simulated reality. And there's a reason why some of us are here. There's a reason why some of us have this knowledge and information. There's a reason people like myself are coming to you from off the grid, because we've seen literally in spirit danger. And I think there's going to be more natural disasters. And I remember the warnings of Leon Nagant, my former guest, who gave the dire warning about our country's future, a future involving occupation by foreign troops. And he warned that the natural disasters would come first. Earthquakes closer to the period of the invasion. But a series of earth change events that in a way bring people together. He even likened it to the Creator revealing himself or itself to the people of the world, and the people, families coming together, seeing the writing on the wall in advance. You know, a lot of the troll-like behavior, the racism going on the internet. I'm not going to jump topics too greatly, but foreign governments and their trolls are trying to weaken us here in the United States. That's why they love what they're seeing. They love seeing the divide. They love pretending they're racist white Americans on the internet when there's actually no evidence that they're actually here. Those bots that are fermenting that hatred. Look at what took place within our country before this. Charlottesville, the men with the torches. There are still human beings that are unable to even open up their consciousness to the idea of real karma. Not the McDonald's karma that their new age guru told them was real, but the real way karma operates. This is not something that adults are even comprehending. So as they sit and some of them pray, are they praying to the creator or are they praying to the God of their particular religion that may not be the real creator? See, I think there's a lot of confusion out there. Another reason I deactivated my personal Facebook page. Okay, too much stimuli, too many people energy, too much psychic overlay, too much fat. So I'm only posting now at my .tv page. And no one's responding to my posts at facebook.com/alexansary.tv because there's so few people that will admit that they actually like my page. So as I reach this pinnacle of 12 years in the alternative media, now having created more content than I have ever created in my life, the engagement and support from you, the audience, has never been lower, with the exception of those people that are supporting and starting to support at outsidethebox.vhx.tv. I want to salute you. But I also know there's thousands of others that have held on to their resentments about me for years, assumed the worst about me for years. And I'm here to tell you, you need to take a closer look at what my main topics have been since you found me. This whole solar flare thing that I've been discussing has not been some fringe topic that I hallucinated one night from too much pot. This is real. The information that I've been trying to help you with, helping you understand your psychic attacks, helping you understand the earth changes, helping you understand the patterns where they launch wars and they launch fears inside of us, to where they try to trigger our fears of ICBMs and attacks from other nations. I've tried to help you since day one. And what you're seeing now with this largest solar flare, as I told you years ago, the dark occultists manipulate world events when there's solar flares, because we, as human beings, are exerting prana, exerting light, soul essence, instead of being where we should be in a state of peace, which I recommend you go to that vibration of peace, go into the sacred heart. Go deep within, pull your soul into your body. They have traumatized me. They have traumatized so many of us, so that our souls are thrown out of our body, like what Tony Sawyers was talking about. Listen to part 2 and support my work at outsidethebox.vhx.tv. And we're having this conversation, and it makes a lot of sense. They traumatize during these periods in which our souls are capable. Now, let me just reel my attention back to this storm. And we look at the day after tomorrow. That's right, we look at the day after tomorrow, the movie, and there's 3 storms in that. And that was supposedly all about global warming and man-made climate change. So people look at things like that, and people look at who would benefit. Right now, Q Bono. Others are concerned that this might be a sign that other moves, if these are weather weapons from America's enemies, although they aren't really America's enemies, it seems like they're all working together to bankrupt America, to send America into war after war, while China funded our wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. But this is definitely a sign of other things are going to be moving into motion if, in fact, these are weather wars. This isn't something that's... We're not going back to a normal reality. It is on the tip of everyone's tongue that this could bankrupt our nation. Now, follow-up information. The focus is on the Keys right now, the west side of the state of Florida, and Tampa Bay, Florida. Do you know what's interesting about this for those of you that took the time to watch Fourth Horse Rising? Do you remember that clip in Tampa Bay, Florida from NATO's YouTube channel They said themselves, not me, troops from over 90 countries trained in a rescue mission, supposedly rescuing the mayor from terrorists. But it doesn't matter if terrorism was their excuse. Troops from over 90 NATO allied countries have trained in rescue operations in the state of Florida. So there are these natural disaster agreements between our nation and other nations. We have China training in Hawaii as well. Do you remember the guise of what? It wasn't fighting terrorism, it was natural disasters. Natural disaster response in Hawaii, the Chinese Navy, the People's Liberation Army, the PLA, on U.S. soil, but it's fine. It's all training for natural disasters. And again, we see this mayor saying that, hey, do not stay in the state of Florida. You will die, or you could die. What kind of thing is this to say to people? What kind of dog training is this? Get out or die. What? Get out or be raped? Is that what you're going to say next? Oh, well, you chose to stay in the city. Hey, we told you to get out. Sorry you got gang raped by thugs and we couldn't help you. We told you to get out. What kind of training is this? I want to curse right now, but I can't. But it's like, F you, governor of the state of Florida, Mr. Scott. And have you looked at this guy? No, seriously, have you looked at this guy? Google his face. And let me know what you think in the comment section after this goes live. Dude looks like he's got an alien in him. Sorry if the shoe fits. There's a lot of these weird Manchurian candidate politicians. So the very fact that he looks like that and he's saying the things that he's saying, there's something weird about this whole Florida thing. I've been watching so many YouTubes, more points to give to you. It's been described as Pentagon South, the Florida area. Military bases, major operations, psychological operations. For years, I and others have talked about just a general feeling about all the evil going on in Florida and the really messed up things going on there, and the drugs, the basalt, something very supernatural, something about where it is on the planet. How does this connect with Atlantis or Bermuda Triangle? I don't know. But Florida's a freaky place. And I was there in 2012 in Tampa Bay, Florida for the RNC, and see me bullhorning some of the people there regarding even the foreign troop drill that Tampa Bay, Florida hosted. You could see me confronting also on YouTube Chris Matthews for putting down the founder of the Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes, when he tried to act like Stuart Rhodes was making it up about foreign troops training in the U.S. He said, what foreign troops? And I called out Chris Matthews. Okay. And I cited the foreign troop exercise in Tampa. And he, just like others, just ignore the crazy Alex. Just ignore that guy over there. Just ignore all that solar flare stuff. Yeah, it's really just code for Aztec sun worship. You want to talk about the Aztec sun worship? That's our system sacrificing the Afghanis to their fallen Archon god. That's our Aztec worship. Right here in the United States, where blacks, Hispanics, and whites come together and participate in the calling of the Middle East. That's Aztec sun sacrifice right now. Or say back in 2003, 2004, shock and awe as they bomb Iraq. So here we are after millions have been culled from the planet. And this isn't even on the minds of today's bread and butter, corn-fed American. Yeehaw! My flag, my flag, my flag. Well, now your flag is being ripped from the flagpole. Are Americans looking for answers? Are Americans looking for the truth right now? Are we seeing a shift in consciousness as we see a shift in the weather? As they sit down and they pray, are they praying for the answers? Oh God, oh dear Creator, here let me get down as I even say this. Show us the answers. What is the truth? Is this nature? Is this an attack from a foreign nation? Show us the answers. What is going on? I don't think people are really getting down on their knees and asking for the answers right now. They're scared. And you got a lot of people out there that are looking for the real Jesus. They have their archon Jesus, right? They have their arch deities. Oh, deities, please save us in our forest. We've never really gotten down on our knees and asked the Creator to stop the wars. But no. We're going to ask what we think is God or the Creator to stop these storms and fires and floods from destroying our land. I'm not heartless. I have a heart. I'm more interested in praying for humanity to grow a heart. Because if mankind can grow a heart, if womankind can grow a heart, it has a greater chance of surviving certain things in the physical. More so, they might be able to save their own soul if they were to pray for others. Instead, I've been warning you for years, they've been teaching Americans to hate. They created a false Islamic invasion meme. They taught Americans to call those people over there terrorists without any evidence whatsoever, with no cognitive function to realize that the same demonization is being planned for Americans. They're using white supremacy to destroy the entire nation, and they're not done yet. As these disasters, man-made or not, but more than likely, Americans will get more and more used to the idea of international assistance. Once America can't pay to clean its underwear, can't go to the laundromat, can't change its drawers, just running around with holes in its pants, holes in its shirt, ragtag Ann, the broke American, and it's slowly being phased in, slowly being phased in. One disaster after another. More troops to Afghanistan, more drone attacks in the Middle East, more fighting in the streets between people that are actually counterfeit patriots, counterfeit liberty lovers, as they sit there out of ego and do their little dance on the Portland waterfront for the cameras. Without a doubt, Joey Gibson is being funded by an element of America that wants to see Joey Gibson, right, continue to bring ranks to the other side. Without people like Joey Gibson in Portland traveling up and down the West Coast, okay, there would be no real representation, if you will, of the Trump movement. The man, and I'm not for either side, but I mean, when he sits there and says it's all about peace and love, no, dude, it's about your political position. If you're about peace and love and the different races coming together, you would actually talk in detail about your issues. It's a front, it's a cover for a Donald Trump support movement, which is not like some hippie beatnik peace love holding hands. You friggin' idiot, you friggin' provocateur. And then we have Antifa on the other side, demonizing, right? Demonizing the idea of being a protester today. That's what Antifa is doing. So we see disruptions on both sides. There's something that could be said about a society that is not able to connect all these dots and events. Manufactured civil unrest, massive solar flares, either natural or manufactured storms, threats to the West Coast from North Korea, threats back and forth from Donald Trump to North Korea, threats of fire and fury. Fire and fury. North Korea, allied with China. China, Russia, likely have given North Korea weapons. And then here we have these storms hitting the United States. Just a couple of weeks ago, people were attacking the mayor of Houston for not ordering a mandatory evacuation. Now people are looking at this and they're criticizing the mandatory evacuation, going, Are we being trained like little dogs in this drill to evacuate whole sections? And where is this going to go? We're going to have follow-up reports tomorrow of life inside the FEMA camps. For the first time in the nation's history, we're going to have post-disaster reports. We'll be talking about what worked, what didn't work. Other people are speculating with their conspiratorial cap as to what they're doing in the city of Miami with those buildings. Are they preparing those buildings for another 9/11 as they evacuate a city and make threats to people that, they might get touched in one of those places if they remain in the city? I mean, they might as well just come out and say it. If you're caught in our city, expect the worst. That's psychological warfare. So we're literally now being put in this box where we're just supposed to go wherever we're told. Either evacuate your home, or the other version of that is staying in your home. You can't leave the disaster. You can't leave the danger zone. And that's actually something that we could be seeing later. Some real zombie apocalypse shite. Warning, attention, attention, attention. People trying to flee their homes and their neighborhood may be shot on sight if you're in a quarantine zone. Maybe tell the people they've been hit with some sort of a terror attack, false flag, and not prevent them to, they've trained to keep the Portlanders in the city. And instead of the residents of Portland, Oregon, realizing the significance of my 2007 coverage, I've been long forgotten. But to this day, I continue to speak to the zombie apocalypse in Portland, Oregon, whether they respond to my Portland Cable Access show or not. And that's painful to know that 12 years of nonstop content has led to the least amount of engagement now in my content. Is AI involved? Are you seeing the videos? Or is there really just something going on with us psychologically to where people just don't see the value in it anymore? As the social disasters meet the natural